Hello YouTube, Nielsen here, Yucata Junky. So I'm really digging my two Epiphones a lot. So again, let me just do a little sound check with this thing here, and then I'll plug in the mic and go at it. Nice to have volume. Forgot the song. That's why I gotta play every day. I just forgot it. Got one note. Yeah, man, I muffled that one up. Another googly. One take beanie. I haven't played it for a while, and I have to play it every day to remember it. I just forgot how to play it. Plug it in, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. All right, so I did actually get graphite lubricant from Amazon. So instead of using my sewing machine oil that I've had for 20 odd years now, I'm going to try that next time I restring a guitar. What I might even do is, let's face it, the two Les Paul Epiphones that I didn't think I'd fall in love with as much as I have. The modded one, I had it on Craigslist, $500, which they sell for still six and change used from Guitar Center. So you're paying for tax and shipping. And I thought 500 was reasonable for a fairly new guitar. And I had some guy call me up and say, "Can you do better than 500 with a tone?" You know, and I didn't like his attitude. And I said, "No, I can't." And he hung up. And I went right to the computer and I took it off. I deleted my post. And I busted it out of the case, hung it on a wall, and I started playing it. I started playing it with this one. So I play this one, I play that. And I'm like, wow, I'm really loving this Epiphone. And again, I think that you're paying a little bit more than you should for the Epiphone name because, and I'll say it 1,000 times, I feel like they can give you better stuff on their guitars compared to other companies, even though they're all coming from China. My biggest beef is why can't they have stainless steel frets when a lot of other, and I'm not just talking about one company, there's about 4 companies now, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 companies now, manufacturers, that make LP style guitars and even Stratocaster style guitars from China with stainless steel frets. Still, for half the price of an Epiphone. But I love this KOA. I love the fact that I took the pick guard off. I love the fact that I changed the knobs because these knobs, and I always grab that like everyone else in the thing, they don't come off in my hands. So I do have a set of knobs coming for the modern, and as soon as I get them, I'm going to put them on because even though I use a screwdriver, I try to split that open a little bit, and other than besides putting a drop of glue in there, which I don't want to do, the knobs whenever I go to use them, and I only really use them in a video because I don't use them while I'm really playing, so I don't like the sound of it, except for the phaser. And the phaser one is the one that comes out in my hand all the time, comes off of my hand all the time. So yeah, because the strings are still wrapped around when they're not supposed to be because they have locking tuners on there, locking grovers, I do believe they are. I'm going to unwind those strings, use my graphite lubricant, put a dab on each slot, put the string back on. This time, pull it, tighten it, tune it, and then clip it. Because it's still, sometimes I'll play and I'll hear it. I'll hear something, one string out of tune. And what I've been finding out, it's either been the D or the G string. Now, granted, the G string always goes out of tune. I'm still waiting for information back from NASA because I sent them a detailed letter explaining, can you tell me why the G string is always out on every freaking guitar? But whenever I post this, if you haven't already heard, the 2023 Epiphone KOA with the ebony fingerboard, I sent back. As much as I didn't want to, I just felt so guilty having almost 2 of the same exact guitars. I felt if the KOA was a different color, grain, if it they didn't almost look identical, I just I don't know because I got so many guitars. I actually felt bad. I actually felt guilty, and I sent it back. And someone left a comment saying that he's got one of each, and before he knew that I returned it, he said, "Yeah, just hold on to it." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, that doesn't help because now I want it back again." But that's what we deal with. Again, the Pro, I just felt like I got this used from the Guitar Center, and it was just a freak kind of thing. I knew I was going in to return something, and I figured, let me just the night before, let me just check their used gear, and this was on the wall, on their site, I should say. And I'm like, that's a Epiphone KOA, $4.99. So I ran there as soon as they opened up the doors, man. I was ready to walk in. So they got to return. I'll be right back. I ran. I found this up on the used wall, and the used wall in Clearwater is like, maybe if you put this wall and that wall together, that's the length of their used stuff. They don't have a whole hell of a lot. And I grabbed it right away. I didn't even play it. I just grabbed it and I says, okay, uh, I want this. It's that easy. And I brought it home, and then I found out it's got I guess that's why it's the Epiphone Custom Pro. It's got the phaser, and then it's got the coil taps, which I don't care about. I don't need them, but the phaser is nice. And the phaser sounds just as good as the one that's in my Modern, and that sounds just as good as my 59 Greenie Moore Chipson Gibson guitar with hand-wound reversible magnet pickups to be copied exactly like the ones from the Greenie Moore guitar. So that I was pleasantly surprised about that, and not thinking I was gonna dig the rosewood, man. I'm loving. I don't care about the rosewood. I'm loving it. I like the way it looks. I'm still going to use my staining oil on here to darken it up a little bit. And this thing it feels like I've been playing this guitar for the longest time. And it's one of those things where I know it's not going anywhere. And this has the different headstock compared to, I don't feel like getting the other one off the wall. Got to step out of the camera's view, but this has this kind of headstock, where the other one just has like a doop doop. This has like a dip here and a dip here. Should I just get it down? Someone's going to say, yeah, you lazy bugger. Just grab it off the wall. So here's the difference. I don't want to clean the guitars together. There's the difference in the headstock tops. And I know this is a custom, so that's why the binding goes all the way around. This one you don't have it, but you see the way it's shaped differently. Yeah, man. So the fact that, again, they can't make all the bodies the same way with the contour here and the locking tuners, and can't keep up with other companies with stainless steel frets, it's still discerning to me. Or I should say, that's not the right word. Let's take that back. It's disappointing to me. And that's it. I just wish they had stainless steel frets, because I play every day. Sometimes on the weekends I get in here. Sometimes on a Sunday I'll get in here and I'll play, but mostly Monday through Friday, I'm in here for a couple hours a day and I'm just playing. Sometimes I do the video, sometimes I just play. And I've noticed that when I played with my band for 10 years, my band was Black and Blue, and I was the lead singer and guitar player, and I didn't like singing because I don't think I have a singing voice, but I couldn't find a singer. That's another story. The main guitar that I used was, I had my old 70s Strat, one of the first ones that I had routed to had someone put a Floyd Rose in it. I had Spazell locking tuners from Bob Spurzel himself. He sent them to me, and he also sent me pins at the time. I had a relationship with him on the phone, and it was a rosewood fingerboard. I had it scalloped from the 12th fret up, and it was a bird's eye maple neck and headstock. And the difference between that is, it's just, when wood has been left in the water, like in a lake, for a long period of time, you get that bird's eye effect from what I remember reading somewhere. And that was, I had 3 pickups because, Peter Frampton, Ace Frehley was my first, and Ace Frehley was actually my third. Peter Frampton was my fourth guy. So I had to have 3 pickups on my Strat, and I had everything, man. I was splitting the pickups and the whole 9 yards, and that was my main player. And then I bought a newer one, a 50th anniversary one, that my buddy at the time, Brian Gabriel, a monster guitar player. They had 2 that each store was getting 2 of this special run, limited edition anniversary. And I saw it, and I said, they both look good. I says, which one do you like? He played them both. And he says, I like the way this one sounds and plays. And that's the one I had. And that's when I had the 2 of them for 10 years and played the 2 of them with my band for 10 years and did many a gigs with those 2 guitars, because I always would pick one up and put the other one down, and I always kept 2 also, just in case in the middle of the song a string broke, which had never happened to me. And I remember Stevie Ray Vaughan, his live second version of him playing in Texas, where he breaks a string and comes out. Guy gives him he did that guitar change flawlessly. I don't have a roadie to do that, so in case that ever happened, I was just gonna unplug it, drop it, and grab the other one. But this feels like one of those 2 guitars that I played with my band for 10 years. This feels like I've been playing this for the longest time. So it's just, if you find one of these, there's still a couple that they pop up. Again, I think that they're a little overpriced for their used market. If I were to complain about anything other than showing you all the different pieces of wood, how it's pieced together, is that the nut is a little oversized, where it's sticking out past on both sides, really, where it's sticking out past the neck. I think that was, again, bad quality control. They could have shaved that down. Just to show you, here's my pick, and that's where it stops. Right there, right at it. Same thing here. You hear it? That's where it stops. But besides that, love this guitar. And I think if you're eyeballing it and you see it, oh, one last thing, it almost has the asymmetrical neck like the Modern does. And I've said this before. It's a thin 60s neck, but when you get down to the lower part, the high strings behind the neck, it's tapered off even thinner. And this feels comfortable right away. In all honesty, the Modern, it takes me, even though I'm familiar with it, it still takes me a minute or 2 to get used to it. This, I pick it up and I'm used to it right away. So I think this has less of an asymmetrical neck, and that has more of an asymmetrical neck. But again, once you're playing it for a while, you're like, every guitar should have this. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to try to keep up with my videos, and I'm trying to keep them in order. So if they're not, then that's my fault, because I'm a bonehead. So thanks for watching. Have a good day, and a bit of tomorrow.